Hi everyone, just a new updated video just to explain the mod launcher and in order to play Ravenhearst with 7 Days to Die. Currently, they have released a new version which is 6.4. So the first thing we're going to want to do is make sure that you're running the right version of 7 Days to Die. So open up your Steam, go into your games, and right click onto the 7 Days to Die and select Properties. On the Beta tab, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that None and Opt Out of all beta programs is selected. Example, for the previous version of Ravenhearst at 6.2, you would have needed to be running on 18.2. That's the current version that it was running on. But currently now it's 6.4 for Ravenhearst. It's actually running on the 18.4 B4 version, which is the current one. So you want to make sure that you have this selected to none. In doing so, if you haven't, it's going to go through the update and get it installed to that current version. Let's close out of this. So what we're going to do then is we're going to launch our web browser and we're going to go to the link for the mod launcher. Okay. This is the direct link, and I'll have that included in the notes of the video. Once this page loads up, you're going to want to go all the way down to the download section, which is right here, download and run. Okay, this is going to be the latest version, so you're going to want to save it. Depending on what web browser you're using, you may have to remember where you downloaded the file. For myself, I'm using Firefox, and it automatically brings it up when I download it, so I can open up the file or I can run it directly. So let's go ahead and say yes. That's normal. Windows just wants to protect you, right? So we're going to go run, and we'll click next. Now, depending on where you want this installed, right, my folder itself, my C folder, I like to try to keep it free. I have a D drive that I normally have like all my games installed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to browse and go to my D, and we're going to call it that one. Okay, leave it as that. Go install. This doesn't take too long, as you can see. You may require additional software, visuals from Microsoft. Then please, by all means, go ahead and download it and get it installed in order for you to use that mod launcher. Okay, so we can close out of this. What's going to happen is that when you install it, it will load up the launcher itself. Now, to be on the safe side, it doesn't hurt to check for updates. Always try to get the latest one, right? So at that point, everything seems to be fine. My destination folder is going to be D alpha 18, which is where I want it. Okay. Ravenhearst, we're going to select, open that up. You're going to see there are other mods you can try, and then I do encourage you to go and try them out because some of them are unique by themselves and they're very enjoyable. Myself, I like to play Ravenhearst. It's a nice addition to the 7 Days to Die game. So as you can see here, that was a previous version. We're going to select 6.4. Now, you can install directly from Steam, but if you have a fresh copy on your system, I would recommend just selecting it from an existing copy because you already have the files, right? And it won't take as long. So make sure that it's set up to where you want it installed. Okay, and simply go install game. Now this is going to take a little bit of time, not too overly, but what I'll do is I'll just pause the video and I'll come back when it's completed to go to the next step. Okay, all right, thanks. All right, so as we see here, it finished installing the game and it's ready to go. So let's talk about these things. This is where the actual where it's going to be installed. You can play the mod. Now, before playing the mod, what I recommend to do is to pre-sync the mod, because what's going to happen is that it's going to go and get the information. It's going to download the mod and apply it to the folder. I recommend this. I know we're all anxious to get in there and play, but you know what? Do it this way here. Let the system retrieve all the data before you try to jump right in. That way, if there's any complications, any errors, you're not going to be grumbling because the game didn't launch properly. That's so what I would recommend. And this may very well take some time because there is quite a bit of files, and depending on your internet connection too as well, right? So let's go ahead and pre-sync. So the mod is not downloaded yet. Would you like to download it? No, of course. That's what we want to do. So let us go, as you can see here, it's refreshing. So there's quite a few files. You see there's 3876 and I'm just at 12. So again, I'm just going to pause the video, and once it's done synchronizing, then I'll come back and we'll just talk about the rest of the options here, okay? All right. Okay, so the files have done syncing up, and as you can see here, copying is done, all that information is transferred over. Now in regards to these settings here, I would simply leave it as it is. We don't want the easy anti-cheat active because there's so many modifications that are set to the vanilla files in order for the mod to work, that it would probably just come up with errors, or it may even try to stop you from launching just because it thinks that you're cheating, but you're not. Or hopefully you're not, out of morality, to make sure that you're playing it right. Anyway, rambling on. So as it is, to refresh the mods automatically, unless you have a really fast machine and your connection is super fast, then you could probably specify to refresh the mods automatically. But at this point here, even by default, they have it set as off, simply because they know not everybody's going to have the ultimate perfect machine to get this running. So at this point here, we're pretty well ready to go and launch the game. So let's go play mod. This is going to load it up. May take a little bit, and I'll wait with you. There we got the fun pimp screen. Pre-caching the files. Now I want to advise that once the main screen comes up and you're able to select a game, create your game, please note that when you're at the loading screen where it says Ravenhearst Epidemic Edition, that can take a while to load up. Depending on the system, it may go faster, but the very first initial one, yeah, I've waited for a good 5, almost 10 minutes before something actually happened. So just so you know, when things seem to not be progressing, just be patient and wait. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go create a new game. I had one previously set up, but we'll call this one testing it out. Okay, and we'll go, let's see, new random, and we'll leave it at that. Basic. Depending on what you want to have it set up, you can always go into the basic details, like here's your general basic. Okay, you can specify the cycles. That's something for you to play. The advanced setting is what you want, and if you're going to be playing multiplayer, you can want to disable or activate something else. And now for the Ravenhearst, 60. I tried at 60 and was quite a bit. And even at 30, it was pretty crazy. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try setting it to 10. I would recommend setting it low enough so you can get a feel for it and experience the recipes and that. Because if you have too many zombies, I spent most of my time running around trying to get away from them. I would go to the workbench, make something, keep on running away because there were so many around. So let's try this. So we're going to go set it up and we're going to go start. Of course, you know what's going to happen. It's going to go through the process of generating the world. So let me just go ahead and pause this video, and then just as about when it's ready to, I'll come back on. Okay, right. Okay, so we're back. So as you can see on the screen, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Is this screen, Ravenhearst Pandemic Edition? It's currently loading, but it can take a while. So at this point, if you think nothing is happening, or if you're clicking around, and then it's best just to leave it. Because if you start clicking, thinking, well, what's going on? It's going to cause the software to stop responding. And then you're going to get the little hourglassing. So at this point, just leave it as it is. That's what I recommend. Let it go through, and you're going to see it's eventually going to come up, depending on the system, I presume, or depending on, especially on the map size. Um, it may take long, but just give it time and be patient. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pause it right now because I know it's going to take a while for it to load everything up, okay? Okay, so we're back. As I stated, it takes a while for it to go. So it did the initializing, it created the player. So now we're doing it's set the part for building the environment. So it won't be too long before the game comes up. So as I said, when you get that screen, just be patient and let it go. So as you can see here, we're now officially in the game. Okay. All right. So anyway, just keep that in mind. When you're starting it, it's going to take some time. Okay. All right. I hope this video helps. Follow the directions, and I'll include the links in the contents down below, so you can just quickly connect to it. And listen, you know what? If you really like this mod, please go see their website. I'll include that in the link too as well, and support them because they've done a fantastic, amazing job on this. Kudos to them. It gives 7 Days to Die another countless hours of play. Okay, all right, thanks.